Alright everyone, so today I thought I'd make a brief video explaining the situation with ranked choice voting and ranked choice voting in Maine and the implications of that in the 2020 election. So the state of Maine has ranked choice voting. It's the only state to have ranked choice voting statewide. I know New York City and probably some all other smaller cities around the country do have ranked choice voting for local elections like city council or mayor or something like that. But Maine is the only state that has this on a statewide basis. So the way ranked choice voting works essentially is you rank your candidates. So say I vote for an independent first, and we'll look at a specific in a second. But say I vote for an independent. Um, if neither of the two major party candidates get over 50% of the vote the first time, like in this case in Maine's 2nd District, where Bruce Poliquin won the popular vote in this district, but ultimately lost the seat because he lost the second ballot. Now, what's the second ballot? It's right here. So the first round of voting, Republican Bruce Poliquin won with 46.3% of the vote. However, they went to the second round of voting, which basically means they threw out all the other third-party votes. So these votes were just basically taken out of existence. They're taken out, and they're added to the totals of the major party candidates. So if somebody was voting for Tiffany Bond and wanted to vote for Bruce Poliquin as their second choice, that would go towards their second choice. However, this in essence does favor the dominant party in the state, and in Maine for this case, this is going to favor Democrats because there's going to be more third-party voters on the Democratic side this time than the Republican side. But on a principle standpoint, I am against the system of ranked choice voting. I think this is a very convoluted way of voting. I like first past the post. I think it's just much simpler to say, all right, I vote for this person and this vote counts in the election. It doesn't get discarded or added to anybody else's total. So this is another thing that a lot of people on the left are pushing. It doesn't really make sense to me. Because in a way they're saying everybody's votes counts and this helps third parties, but I don't really see how it helps third parties when it's just completely eliminating their votes and adding it to some other person that they didn't vote for as their first choice. I guess what they're trying to say is you could vote for the Green Party symbolically, but also vote for Joe Biden. But anyway, this is something that's being pushed a lot, and the reason why I brought this video up now is because the Republican Party, which is naturally against this because this puts them at a huge disadvantage in Maine, a state where they were actually making significant gains, this puts them at a disadvantage. So they're trying to gather enough signatures to basically stop the state from using ranked choice voting in November. In their eyes, this is going to give Trump a better chance of winning. And it very well could, because we could have a race where Trump gets only 47% of the vote, but Joe Biden only gets 46%, and Trump would win the state, or something like that. Now, I still have Maine in the Democratic column anyway. But to show you what I mean about Republican gains, if we look at the popular vote in 2018 for the state House races, Democrats won by 15 points. But if we go back to a higher turnout election in 2016, Democrats barely won the popular vote here as well. So the state of Maine is definitely in play. And we go to previous elections, it wasn't even close. I mean, even in, well, they don't have 2010, but even in previous elections, it's only been recently that Maine has started to shift more to the right. And it wasn't just for Trump, it was also for Republicans down ballot, and that includes in the House as well. Now, I think this was the first time that, District 2 did go red in 2014. That was the first time it went red. But this was the first time Republicans had a serious chance of winning the popular vote in a House race. Now, this doesn't mean anything. Just because they win the popular vote, they're not going to win both seats. This seat is safe blue. This is a leans red seat at this point, or a likely red seat. But with ranked choice voting, this would certainly hinder Republican gains in the state of Maine, and I think that's why they're pushing this out. Now, of course, the right does this as well with other states like Georgia and Texas, states that they're losing grips on. They're trying these convoluted methods to try to keep those states in their hands. So I see both sides to this, but at the end of the day, this is definitely being pushed out now because this was an idea proposed in the 1990s. This is being pushed out to try and stop Donald Trump from winning the state of Maine, which is a possibility. It's not as far out as you think, and I'll do a video on Maine in my Swing to Lean State series in the near future. I might release that today or something. But anyway, I thought I would just briefly explain what ranked choice voting is. Again, you rank your candidates. I still don't get why it's really a system. I guess it's because you don't want to throw out a third party vote. But I think a vote is a vote. I think a vote is a symbolic endorsement of a candidate. I don't think you should be able to vote for like 5 people on a ballot. But anyway, that's just my take on ranked choice voting. I hope that clears some things up, at least explaining what the concept is if you didn't know. But please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tune in for more predictions and commentary in the future. Thanks for watching.